Hey, 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 what's been good about your day? It's Mrs. Newport. It's time for story time. What's been good about my day is that we get to read again. I love reading. Do you like reading? Well, I love these books and I am excited to share another good one with you. It is called First Day Jitters. My mom actually gave this to me for my first day of school when I was a teacher. And so I loved reading this the first day of school because, sometimes you get a little nervous about maybe meeting new people or what's going to happen. So this is a fun one. It's called First Day Jitters. And it is by Julie Danneberg and illustrated by Judy Love. Look at her, she's hiding underneath her pillow. Sarah dear, time to get out of bed, Mr. Hartwell said, poking his head through the bedroom doorway. You don't want to miss the first day at your new school, do you? I'm not going, said Sarah, and pulled the covers over her head. Of course you're going, honey, said Mr. Hartwell as he walked over to the window and snapped up the shade. No, I'm not. I don't want to start over again. I hate my new school, Sarah said. She tunneled down to the end of her bed. How can you hate your new school, sweetheart? Mr. Hartwell chuckled. You've never been there before. Don't worry. You liked your other school. You'll like this one. Besides, just think of all the new friends you'll meet. That's just it. I don't know anybody, and it will be hard, and I just hate it. That's all. What will everyone think if you're not there? We told them you were coming. They'll think that I'm lucky, and they will wish that they were at home in bed like me. Mr. Hartwell sighed. Sarah Jane Hartwell, I'm not playing this silly game 1 second longer. I'll see you downstairs in 5 minutes. Sarah tumbled out of bed. She stumbled into the bathroom. She fumbled into her clothes. My head hurts, she moaned as she trudged to the kitchen. Mr. Hartwell handed Sarah a piece of toast and her lunchbox. They walked to the car. Sarah's hands were cold and clammy. They drove down the street. She couldn't breathe. And then they were there. I feel sick, said Sarah weakly. Nonsense, said Mr. Hartwell. You'll love your new school once you get started. Oh, look, there's your principal, Mrs. Burton. Sarah slumped down in her seat. Oh, Sarah, Mrs. Burton gushed, peeking into the car. There you are. Come on. I'll show you where to go. She led Sarah into the building and walked quickly through the crowded hallways. Don't worry, everyone's nervous the first day, she said over her shoulder as Sarah rushed to keep up. What do you think's going to happen? When they got to the classroom, most of the children were already in their seats. There they are. The class looked up as Mrs. Burton cleared her throat. Class, attention please, said Mrs. Burton. When the class was quiet, she led Sarah to the front of the room and said, Class, I would like you to meet your new teacher, Mrs. Sarah Jane Hartwell. What? Teachers get nervous too? Of course they do. Hey, I wanted to show you, kind of like Mrs. Hartwell was burrowing down in her sheets. Well, I wanted to feature another game, kind of a little game, maybe an activity would be a better way to describe it. This is from my book called Homework Games, How to Have Fun with Homework. How about today you build a tent? Yeah, so look, that's actually my son. He built a tent, and then guess what he's doing in his tent? reading. Yay! All right, so in this picture, he was just faking it. But today, why don't you go ahead and get a book after you build your tent and read in your tent. If you're working on the letter Q, this is a quiet place to read and maybe a quick, fun activity for Q. If you are not working on Q, feature whatever letter you're working on this week and build a tent. Have a great day. Choose joy.